everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we will take a look at Xaku and how I used them in Steel Path Endurance Run. It's been 2 weeks since they got released and public opinion about them has not been very good. I have to admit that they were not as good as I expected at first, but after a couple of tests and experiments, Xaku can actually be very good in an endurance run. The abilities we will mainly be using are Gaze and Grasp of Lock. We will use Ferrox for crowd control and Stropha for our melee. Ferrox also deals good damage but will mainly be used to snare enemies together. Now before we start, please keep in mind that everything I'm about to show is from my own personal experience and what works best for me. Feel free to get ideas from the build and create one for yourself. With that being said, let's not delay any longer and take a look at what Xaku can do. The footage you just saw was from a Steel Path Kuva survival run, and you might have already guessed, we used Helmet to replace Satos Whisper with Fever. Grasp of Lock by itself doesn't do much against these enemies, but when used with Gaze, it becomes very effective. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Xaku's build. We've got Enemy Radar in the Aura slot for enemy visibility, Cunning Drift in the Ixila slot for extra range, Rolling Guard for 3 seconds of invincibility after rolling, Blind Rage and Intensify for strength since we need at least 200% strength here to get 100% armor strip on Gaze. Streamline to bring the efficiency back up a bit. I did not max Blind Rage here and only ranked it up to rank 8 as I already reached 200% strength and I didn't want to decrease the efficiency further. Next, we've got Primed Flow for increased max damage, Primed Continuity for more duration, then Augur Reach and Stretch for more range. For our Arcanes, we've got Arcane Energize for better energy management, and Arcane Primary Charger for more damage and Ferrox every time we kill that Stropha. The focus school we use is Xeneric as this can be an energy-hungry build, so Energizing Dash really helps a lot, especially to those who don't have a maxed Arcane Energize. Now for an example of how we are staying alive and how we are dealing damage. Most of the time, we just stay hidden with Ivara's Quiver and fire at enemies from a distance with Ferrox, Stropha, and Grasp of Lock. We are firing Ferrox alt fire in a choke point, cast Gaze, Grasp of Lock, then shoot at enemies with our Stropha. Now for our Ferrox setup. Though we are mainly using this weapon to snare enemies together, it can actually deal a good amount of damage thanks to Xaku's Gaze. So we've got Heavy Caliber and Serration for damage, Vigilante Fervor, Vile Acceleration, and Speed Trigger for faster AoE ticks, Primed Cryo rounds and Infected Clip to proc viral status on enemies, Point Strike for additional critical chance, and Twitch for faster holster speed. Coming up next is our build for Stropha. Now for our stance, we are using Bullet Dance, but this doesn't really matter on this build as we are using heavy attacks. Sacrificial Steel, Amalgam Organ Shatter, and Gladiator Might for our crits. Killing Blow gives us more damage and heavy attacks. This and Amalgam Organ Shatter also increases our heavy attack wind-up speed. We also have Primed Fever Strike for toxin damage, Corrupt Charge, so we always have that 2x combo multiplier, Condition Overload, and a Faction mod for our core damage. The reason I'm using Condition Overload instead of Pressure Point is because our Ferrox will be applying status to our enemies. So the longer the enemy is snared, the higher our damage will be when we fire our Stropha. The companion we used on the footage earlier was Jin, simply because it can respawn. But with the new Volpaphyla, which revives every 30 seconds, we now have a better option. Not to mention the effects of your mods such as Fetch still works even if Volpaphyla is still dead. I think that covers everything in this Xaku build. Xaku is still new and there are still lots of helmets combo to try, but for me, this works best for now. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Thank you for being here and watching my video until the end. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something from it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. That's all for today. Thank you very much and I'll see you next time. Bye!